Please like and subscribe my channel. Hi, my name is Karla Adams, and welcome to day 4 of the 30-day clean eating challenge. My tip for you today is to have a plan. My amazing testimony for today is Miss Mary Newton, who has done an amazing job at her transformation. So let me tell you how important a plan is, right? You can spend 6 months, 3 months, 9 months, 1 year, 1 month on a plan. And if you don't have the right plan, it's not going to work. Okay. And what statistically is actually happening out there right now, actually, statistically, most people are not on the right plan. And you can tell just by looking at the stats. One of the number one areas people spend most of their money is on weight loss or health. Okay. That's the number one area people actually take out their wallet and take out their cash or take out their credit card or go online and spend their money. And people are actually going through those actions and looking and researching all this stuff because they want something. They actually have a goal. They have something they desire that's actually part of their value system, part of the way that they want to live their life. But all this money is going out, all this time is going out, but people statistically are not actually getting what they're looking for. And, whenever somebody spends $1 or $10 or $10,000 on a surgery, a plan, or anything in regards to weight loss or health, they actually want to keep that. I guarantee. I'm just pre-assuming that they want to keep that they don't want it for just a couple of weeks or a couple of months. That I'm assuming that they actually want to keep that for probably their life or probably for a long enough period of time to actually enjoy it. But that's actually not happening either. Statistically, 75% of people are not reaching the goal they really, really, really want when it comes to weight loss or health. Out of the 25% that actually are, 90% of them are working with a professional because of how hard it is to actually understand what the right plan is for a person. So, and because we're so multifaceted, that's one of the reasons I would say. The other reason is we are going through the information era. And this is a very significant thing, which is the number one influencer on our social norms, which is the number one influencer on the information available to you and most of the people out there. Okay. Most people actually learn about their health and well-being from a marketing campaign or a social norm. There's not really any formal education in our actual country that actually grooms people on healthy habits. And there's no policies and procedures that actually kind of, not allow certain companies to go into certain realms. And so we have something called a free market and we have something called information error. So there's a bunch of companies out there going out to make $14 on a book, $20 on this, $10,000 on that. And they market all these ideas with half truths. Okay. And, and when they're putting it out, it could be a full truth, but when it goes to the person, it actually ends up being a half truth because it doesn't really apply to that person and what's actually going on with that person. Okay. So that's where, and I'm going to have some other tips that actually talk about that later on. But having the right plan that you're going to spend months, whether it's a couple weeks, a couple months or whatever, having the right plan is so key. Could you imagine spending 9 months and not getting what you want? Well, my testimony that I have for today actually had that case. I've actually worked with Mary over 10 years. She's an amazing client, such a hard worker, such a hard worker in the gym for sure. But, I actually worked with her for 9 months before she actually followed a plan. She actually did her own plan for 9 months. And she got stronger. She noticed results. There was a lot of things that made her happy, but she's like, I didn't get what I really want. She's actually part of that 75% that was not getting what she wanted, while doing all the effort, right? That can actually be frustrating. And then one day she was like, I'm just going to follow this plan, and the plan I had her on happened to be the right one for her. That, sometimes when people follow plans and they actually dedicate themselves, they're not. And that's why I actually made this video to make sure that we have the right plan. So she actually did, and she'll actually tell you all about it in the story. She's got an amazing inspirational story on hard working. But back to, finding and having the right plan and, what's really actually going on statistically with people. I mentioned that we are going through the information era, okay, where we're just bombarded by millions of subjects every day, good, bad, and neutral. 80% of the world's ideas, actually, in every subject in the world, good, bad, and neutral, come from marketing and media and really shape our social norms. Okay, so when we look out there and we're saying there's this overload of information and we have these half truths or sort of truths, how that works is that whenever it's 3% of the market, it's actually considered a social norm. And what that means is just enough people are aware of it or partaking in it, or it's just known enough to where it's considered a social norm, and it starts influencing people, and people start talking about it as if it's something normal. Like, there was a day when there was different brands like Coca-Cola that didn't exist and nobody ever spoke about it, right? But nowadays it's like, oh yeah, I know what that is, blah, 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 blah. So that happens in every subject, and it's 100% happen in health and fitness. And most people's emotions are attached to a weight loss high when it comes to going on a diet, right? And that's why I say get off the plan. You have to stop right there with your psychology and the way that you're thinking about it. So these marketing campaigns and social norms are one of my biggest competitors, because that's one of the things when I spend an hour talking to a client and getting them on track or back on track with their plan, and usually it's back on track, it's usually from something that has been out there that is from a marketing campaign or a social norm. And so having the right plan is super key. Understanding that there are a lot of half truths out there in the marketing, meaning like a company can go out, create a product, and tell you all these, do all this research and tell you all these facts on this one product or this one food or this one idea or whatever it is, and everything that they have packaged together is 100% truth. But what makes it a half truth for you is that it doesn't apply to you or your life. So having the right plan is not an easy thing to actually have, but you want to spend the time to actually understand that. It's part of why I'm creating these videos and teaching people about clean eating, because we all human bodies are designed to live off of these foods that naturally occur on our earth. Okay. And because there is a lack of regulations and, on this area, and there's lots of people putting out products, and we're through this huge information era in a free market, which there's a lot of amazing positive things about that. But in my opinion, it is 100% a contributor to the growing health issues within our society and within our country and just within humanity. So, with that, going and finding the right plan, it actually takes some work. Okay, so with the free information market, that means there's people that their entire livelihoods depend on selling a service or a product that gives a half truth or a partial truth or something. I remember this one time, a weight loss doctor, somebody with a PhD and a full practice on weight loss, hired me and did not understand the concepts of one ingredient foods and balancing foods and different stuff like that. Okay. So, I've seen these different plans out there, and there's a lot of really great ones as well. Like there's a lot of amazing ones, but it's real important to spend some time actually looking and saying, is this the thing that matches the approach that I want to take? If you're somebody that wants to do something natural, I wish there was more regulations, but maybe it's hard to actually come up with those. I don't know. But what we have out there, whether we have a PhD expert or somebody with nothing in between, is we have a lot of, a business owner, right? We have a lot of people going out there making their entire income off of weight loss or health or different subjects. And it could be with half truths that does not apply to you. And there's a lot of things out there that, remove different macronutrients or do different things without a proper assessment of a person. And it actually can mess with your metabolism or different stuff. So you really need to spend a little time understanding what it is you're getting involved in and if it's a bad diet or not. Okay. There's a ton of information out there during this time. So I would say that is one of the biggest contributors to just mass confusion on being able to sort this stuff out and finding the right place. Generally, people learn most of their nutritional advice from a marketing campaign or social norms. We don't have really good resources to put out good systematic information. If you actually look up what the term fad diet means, it actually tells you that it's a diet plan that's popular for a short amount of time. Okay. If you look up the definition of clean eating, it actually labels it as a fad diet. Clean eating means we're eating the foods that naturally occur on this earth. So my question is, what came first, the people or the natural food, or did they come at the same time? And is it really a fad? if we coexisted the entire time and it was just here, I don't know. But I don't consider that fad. I consider that natural laws. So when it comes to fad, that what fad is taking those macronutrients and somebody saying, here's a new way to organize these macronutrients and eat them. And me as a human is going to come up with the perfect one plan for humanity. I think me personally, I think that that's impossible. Okay, you'll never hear me tell you that I have some perfect plan that's going to cure you and going to fix you and do something to you. It's a little bit different than that, and that's why I come out and I say self-development, and I'm actually teaching psychology when it comes to the food and teaching people how to view things and teaching them about our trends and the different changes that we've had over over a good amount of time. It's because we have lots of distractions on what the right plan is, okay? And the right plan actually looks different for different people. It always looks different. It looks different because people have different health standards of just where they're at with their body, and they have different goals. They have different places they want to be, and then they have different resources or lifestyles or mechanical points involved with that kind of are a mixture of components within the situation. So it's multifaceted, you know what I mean? But that's what drives me back to that statistic that I brought up at the beginning of this show. 75% of people are not reaching the goal they really, really, really want. Out of the 25% that do, 90% of them are actually working with a professional. Okay, so that explains that statistic right there. If you're not knowledgeable, I would, I recommend hiring an expert. But guess what? 10% of that people, they actually did it on their own. So it's possible. You could do this all on your own. One of the reasons I'm inventing a transformation on the go is to provide people with tons of tools to do it on your own, because not everybody can afford to hire the right type of expert that's actually going to map a plan together for them. Okay. But mapping the plan together is the most important part. I sit there and I look at all this stuff out there. I'm like, oh my God, this person just spent 9 months doing that. Oh my God, this person just spent 6 months, and they didn't solve the problem. That's the key. If it doesn't solve the problem, it's not the right plan. So, okay, I hope you enjoy Mary's story today. It's a very inspirational one. She's actually a cancer survivor as well. So her second testimony in here is a couple years after she was on her clean eating plan. It was her lifestyle of clean eating and regular exercise that became her major support in supporting her through actually getting cancer. So I hope you enjoy her story. And I hope you eat clean today and have a great day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Please like and subscribe my channel.
Karla, 2005. I decided to do a marathon with my friend over there, Lynn, and of course I didn't know anything about it. And so I joined a running club, the Linda Loafers, and I saw her ad. And I thought, I was spinning my wheels and I was running, well, actually walking, because I had never done that before. So we walked the marathon, and the weight wasn't coming off. I should be healthy, but you don't go to In-N-Out Burger after a marathon. I learned that. So I saw her ad and I thought, and on her ad there was a girl, and she was older and she was wearing a bikini, and I said, I want that. And so anyway, I called her up, and yeah, I did. My goal was to get that bikini, and what I did was first I resisted. And then one day I just thought, what? Why don't you just do what she says? So I did. I did what she says. It took me 9 months. I lost 24 pounds. I got in the bikini and had my first photo shoot. And then I thought, I just got some done. I love the way it made me feel. I love the way I feel after I work out and everything. And so she says, well, why don't you do a show? So I did figure competitor. I did an ABC show. I think I did 2. And so anyway, right after that, I was in the best shape of my life. And then in 2009, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so here's where the story of the lifestyle really begins. Because, first of all, the marathon, working hard. Okay, people do not realize how hard you work for a show. It's not just, oh, I'm in a bikini. You work darn hard. I mean, it's the diet, it's 80% diet, 20% exercise, it's the posing. And there you have to go, I would say that you have to go down real deep to get up on that stage. You have to come to terms with yourself. Well, when I was diagnosed with cancer, it was pretty hard. But I was bound and determined that I was going to use that lifestyle and I was going to use that, what was inside me, all that stuff that the marathon and how you felt and you worked hard. And, but I was not going to let that cancer get me down. And I didn't. I kept at it. I went to the gym. I decided that I was going to keep my lifestyle. And when I say that I went and I worked out, I mean, I got on that treadmill. I went with my little do-rag and all that stuff. And yeah, I wanted people to see that, if you're sick, you can still go. And I went. And I'm telling you, I was true to my diet. Yeah, there was some major depression and it really messed with your head. But because of all that, I got through it. And I'm telling you with my heart that if it weren't for Karla and if it weren't for her education that she gave me, motivation that she gave me the tools to get through. And I'm telling you, y'all can do it. And I'm lucky. I'm a survivor by 6 years. And I gotta tell you that without these people and without my good friend over there, I had a pretty good support group. But I need to tell you that you can use this to your advantage for anything that you do within these walls. You've pushed yourself and it's all about you. And you can do whatever you want to do. And it doesn't matter what age you are. And it really doesn't even matter if you have cancer or not. I mean, this is my story. Yeah, I would love to just be here and not even tell you about that. Because I already had a transformation before I was diagnosed with cancer. The lifestyle helped me get through it. And I'm still here today doing the lifestyle. And it's 2015 and I'm still eating clean and I'm still working out. And the reason why you need a trainer is so you are held accountable. Because let me tell you, when I've worked out alone, you get real lazy. You come in here and it's like, oh wow, I've never worked out before. And so anyway, I just want to tell you that by allowing yourself, giving yourself permission and giving yourself the opportunity to be involved in a gym like this, it's a lot different than LA Fitness. Those people don't care. But I've known this lady for a long time and she does care. And she's just inspired me. And anyway, thank you for listening.
Get your friends on the 30 days of clean eating. This is just one of the most amazing things. Please also like and subscribe my channel. Please share this video. Get all your friends involved. Remember, if you're doing this with other people, it's going to increase your energy. I'm excited and I look forward to the next month. Bye.